What up, Dokkanners? You guys might have noticed things have been starting to slow down a little bit as we are working our way through part 2 of the Tanabata celebration. I don't remember if this is supposed to be the I mean, it shouldn't be. It's Tanabata. It shouldn't be like this, but I think it has been now for a couple of years. That doesn't make it any better, but you know, just stating a fact. But I wanted to go ahead and elaborate further on what is coming up as we sort of exit out of Tanabata and going into GDC, because I have said repeatedly that there's going to be another trap celebration or two between now and then, but I just wanted to go a little bit further in because there's really not much else to talk about. You guys have noticed I've been sort of diversifying in terms of some of the content. I think you guys have been enjoying it. I'm doing the first time playthrough ever on Ocarina of Time on the streams with Gorsh. I've never played it before, and it's actually been a breeding ground for a lot of roasts, so if you guys want to be a part of those, join those streams. I'm also going to be dropping a couple of videos for that, just, you know, to have it in here during these, you know, slower periods. It's nice to have that extra stuff. I've also been doing, you know, like the private server custom character videos, which have been a lot of fun. And you might have noticed I dropped something new today. So I think we're covered in terms of like interesting variety content, still kind of in the realm of Dokkan as we work our way through. But let's go ahead and talk more about this. I will for sure be talking about this again in multiple videos. This is now, we are entering part 2 of part 2. So the second half of part 2 is going to be this final week. And so the next data download where we should be getting more content is going to be around the 22nd of July. So in like 2 days from me posting this video, we should get some sort of a data download. You might notice that in your missions, there's still one that you can't yet complete. And that is because the event ID has not been determined fully, but based on the digits, it is likely going to be a Dokkan Frontier event. So for those of you wondering what this is, some new mystery mode, it's not. It's going to be Dokkan Frontier. And then we'll probably get a couple of other things, and that will probably be it. So I'm a little concerned of what it's going to look like next week. Hopefully it's not anything too rough, because you know, I'm all for throwing in extra like interesting random videos, but I don't want to have to deal with that again. And you know what's funny? I don't want to have to revert back to using meme thumbnails again. We were kind of doing that during the Metal Cooler celebration. I don't want that to happen here, so please don't. But that's it. And so the data download will give us more information in a couple of days. Let's go back to the sacred timeline and take a look at when things were simpler. Before Global and JP were in full synchro, JP back in 2024 had their original scheduling where anniversary happened in the end of January, worldwide happened in the end of August, and in the July time, while global players were experiencing their anniversary, JP was then experiencing Tanabata. That's where we are now, but full synchro. So going back here, you know what's interesting? We've been talking about World Tournament a lot on streams lately, because I do think a World Tournament is coming up next month or in the next celebration. But looking at this for JP, is this really what happened? These characters dropped. There were EZAs for World Tournament characters June 21st, 2024 on the JP version. Okay. Then the Tanabata celebration started. And then after the Tanabata celebration ended and going into the next monthly Dokkan festival, there was another World Tournament, August 16th. So June 21st, August 16th, just 2 months between world tournaments. I think Global also had something like this. I don't remember, but that's pretty crazy. I don't think we're going to have something like that, but I do think a world tournament is definitely overdue. I don't remember the last time we had a world tournament. Maybe we should look that up. I don't know if I'm just missing something, but October 16th, 2025 cannot possibly be the last time we had a world tournament. There's absolutely no way. Going through up to end of 2025. No, okay. December 11th, 2025, we had a world tournament. Okay. Then after that, it was 11th anniversary. All of 11th anniversary. After that, we had this. No world tournament stuff. No world tournament stuff. That's Dokkan Frontier. Nothing. April, we had it. There was just no LR. Okay, April 16th. That was the last time we had a world tournament. So before April, it was December. So about 3 months on average is what we kind of say as like the time frame between. So since April was the last time, that was for the 4th month of the year. 3 months later would be 7, and that's pretty much where we are. So I would not be surprised if going into this next celebration, we get it, which actually lines up with the sacred timeline, because if we go back to 2024 for JP, Tanabata was UI, part 1, had a couple of EZAs. I love how they're separated here. And then part 2 was Jiren, right? Oh, they got sub EZAs. Could we get a couple more EZAs? Maybe that's what we could get in this like next content drop in a couple of days. Jiren had his own respective extra EZA. And then yeah, July 31st, 2024, the next monthly celebration. So right now the placeholder is the Gohan from post GDC last year. It's not necessarily going to be that. It could be anything. It could be another Terrifying Conqueror, could be another movie boss, or it could be something entirely different. If it's a movie hero or a movie boss or a Terrifying Conqueror or a Power of Wishes character, that would be probably really bad because it would make for a pretty big challenge for people to skip. And then we have not usually our official part 2, but it still is a part 2, and that is the Peppy Gals celebration. This usually happens during the summertime, so that will also be coming up. So in terms of what to expect, that's going to be double rates. It's going to be an accelerated banner where it's a guaranteed featured every multi. There's going to be like 3 new characters, 3 new Peppy Gal characters, and also the return likely of the Pink Zone event. I really like this event. This is like before Dokkan really started getting going in terms of creative, new, different sort of boss fights. The Pink Zone did that. And this event is still very fun because of how unique it is. And also just because of the enemies that you're fighting. You're not fighting, you know, big, terrifying bosses. You're fighting, you know, just normal people. You're just fighting Peppy Gals. So it doesn't feel like the stakes are high, but they're very deceivingly so, which made for a fun experience. And I think now, since the event came out 2 years ago, the only time that this event sees updates is during this Peppy Gal annual celebration. So I think minimum we can expect something like that during here. World Tournament will happen sometime during here. And that means good things, especially for if my theory comes to pass about the Wicked Bloodline EZA, that Mecha Frieza that I talked about in the Metal Cooler, like making the best of video. I do think that he could be getting an EZA, even if he doesn't. Any character that comes out of the World Tournament nowadays in terms of EZAs, they're generally pretty good and really, really strong. So they could be a great asset for some of your teams. So yeah. Besides that, let's actually go back and take a look. Oh yeah, quest. There could be a quest update. We do have a couple of characters that we need to have updates for. So here it is, August 2024. What is this? The summer, yeah, the summer campaign. Okay, so we had missions. Oh, the Summer Slam Dokkan Festival. They might do this. It's a cash grab. This debuted at the same time as the double rates banner for the Peppy Gals. So that could happen. Who would be featured in there? It would just be a cash grab. Just a bunch of randos. They'll, you know, give you some offers to make you want to spend some stones for it. Their objective is to take your money so that you are broke going into GDC, so that you are at the mercy of their sales to buy more stuff. I would personally think if they're trying to make this a compelling summon, what they should do for the SummerSlam, if we do get that, is to bring in Carnival LRs, namely the 11th anniversary Part 2 LRs, since those guys did not get their own special banner like the Dokkan festivals did. Like for Tanabata, the Dokkan festivals are featured on the banner, not the Carnival units. So technically they have not yet returned. There could be something with that. And then yeah, we have the new Dokkan character. Some of the featured characters in this gacha will also appear in the heroine gacha. Wait, you know what? Is this how it was in years past? Let's go look back in years past. Has it always been something like that? So let's go to 2023. And then we'd be going to July, August. These characters showed up. This is a world tournament. What was the Dokkan festival? These are all EZAs. Who was the new unit? Oh, it was Trunks. Trunks' banner unit was Gohan. So that has nothing to do with Peppy Gals. And then Peppy Gals just showed up anyway with a bunch of randos. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a banner where the extra characters involved could correlate with Peppy Gals. There does not have to be a connection. You could argue there's a connection in terms of that Trunks where it's like Android 18. I don't personally think that's a connection because that would severely limit the potential for what these characters could be. I think that this is one of those times, especially now that the door has been broken wide open because of the metal cooler, right? I think now monthly celebrations are going to be highly sought after because they give us obscure yet powerful units. And if that trend continues, it will make for a very difficult time for people to save it for GDC. So whatever this is, don't restrict it. Don't be hamstrung by whatever stupid conditions. Just go free. Whatever you want, do it. You want to make Zarbon? Go ahead. Make me very happy. So why don't you go ahead and do that? That will be happening in at the end of August, or at the end of July 28th. And then going back here, what else? There was the Pink Zone story event. Maybe we get some new story event thing. The missions for Pink Zone, new Clash. And whoops. Oh my god, Infinite Dragon Ball History. Yeah, that won't come back. Maybe a new ESBR, maybe a new regular Super Battle Road, Golden Weekend, World Tournament. Yeah, we are for sure getting World Tournament. Peton Battle, we already did that, so we're not going to be getting those. And that's pretty much it for the monthly celebration. That one is going to be slow. Mainly it's going to be slow because nobody's going to care ultimately, because the grand scheme of things, we are waiting for the biggest celebration of the year right there, right? But we have to sit through these two excruciating celebrations for a couple of months. So you know what, your homework assignment, start placing your bets. Will we get a World Tournament? Will we get a pre-GDC week where we get a couple of EZAs, sort of like what happened in 2024 for the upcoming movie bosses? Turles was upgraded back in 2024. What will the new Dokkan Festival be? And for the remainder of this Tanabata celebration, this anticlimactic part 2, what else do you expect to drop during this celebration? Do you expect any sub EZAs? If so, who? And what else could we potentially get along with the Dokkan Frontier missions? Those are all my questions for you, so I expect 2 of you to answer all of them in the comments down below. Also be sure to wait a second, did I do my outro properly? Whatever. Also be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of us. Do it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly. I don't think I said the thank you part at the beginning of the outro, but now that I think about it, I realize I say thank you twice. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. I don't even